Back on Get Up, and with all the things that are going on, let's start in Washington. It's been a very tough 12 months at the position of quarterback there. We all saw what happened to Alex Smith last year, a devastating leg injury. He hasn't been back. Colt McCoy later injured and still wasn't ready to play at the start of the season. So Case Keenum began the year as the starter. That hasn't gone well at all. Then on Sunday, he was replaced in the first half by Dwayne Haskins, who was the 15th overall pick, who most people have been saying is not ready to play. He struggled mightily through 3 interceptions. He was just 9 of 17, and as a result, Jay Gruden has yet to name a starter for Sunday. And yesterday, he doesn't sound like he's even that much closer to doing it.
Yeah, I'm getting closer here. I think you guys had a good day of work today, and I need to follow up tomorrow, see how they do, and see how healthy they are, make sure we're all on the same page, and go from there.
With 2 guys working back from injury and a rookie, how are you dividing up the first-team offensive reps going into New England?
Yeah, we're dividing them up. I don't know. I didn't count today. I'll count when I get back in there. It's close. Maybe.
Everyone is laughing.
We're dividing him up. Maybe he's checked out. That's why I'm laughing.
He's checked out.
That's checked out.
So let him expand on that. What do you mean by checked out?
Oh, you have a coach that knows he's getting fired. If it's not one of these weeks in the season, it's definitely at the end of the season. He's checked out. He's saying, look, we're just going to continue to go, and that's how the team plays
I
right now.
agree, which brings us to why I wanted to do this today. So, Louis Riddick, I was watching you on Monday Countdown.
Yeah.
And I called up my staff and I said, I want those comments on Tuesday morning. So we talked about it here. The notion that it really feels, and this has been the dynamic in Washington for some time, but it really feels now like you have a split between what the front office wants and what the coach wants, and it is causing real problems.
Look, I've always said this. You can have big egos in the NFL. Everybody does. Every one of us up here has an ego. You wouldn't get this far if you didn't. You just can't have competing agendas. And that is really, you can tell what has taken place in Washington, and that is how to ruin a franchise quarterback 101. Have competing agendas. Have it be where somehow a coach feels as though he has been saddled with the player he didn't want. Have a front office feel as though the coach isn't doing the best that he can to develop a young player. Because what it winds up happening is you guys will all last probably a lot longer than the player will last in question. And right now, Dwayne Haskins is the one who's going to be the collateral damage of this if they don't get this straightened out, because he's the one who knows that right now it's been reported and said Jay Gruden didn't want to draft him. So when he walks into that building every day and he's looking at Jay Gruden, what do you think he's thinking? It'd be like me coming in here and saying, hey, somebody told me Greeny doesn't want you on this show. But you're on this show because someone told him to put you on there.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's a way to set a kid up for failure.
But Louis, he's a good player.
We haven't even gotten to that part. We haven't even gotten to that part.
Let's first start with, is Dwayne Haskins a good quarterback? Yes.
He's a damn good quarterback.
So if he's a good quarterback, then there is no debate, because you put your quarterback out there. If you have a very good quarterback and he's young, you put him out there and you let him play. Because here are the 2 issues we're talking about. The culture is bad, not the players. The culture at the Redskins is bad. The players are not bad. So, okay, he's going to struggle. Every good quarterback struggled when they first started. Peyton Manning went 3-13 through God knows how many interceptions. And I'm not saying he's Peyton Manning. I'm saying that the guy has to at some point
I'm not even talking about whether you should put him out there or not, because I have been an advocate of sitting him, to be honest with you, John. Let him go ahead and sit, because I'll tell you this. Right now, when they put him in the game against the Giants, let me tell you what they're missing. They're missing their starting left tackle, their starting right guard, their starting tight end, their starting running back. They don't have a wide receiver really other than Terry McLaurin, who was just drafted this year.
Who was out.
Who was out as well. So, I mean, let him sit.
But that doesn't resonate well with me, because if you're telling me we need all the stars to align to finally put our rookie quarterback out there. We need everything to be perfect for our rookie quarterback.
Just
that's what we're saying. Everyone's injured.
Let me hear from the quarterback, Marcus. You were there last year. Now, obviously, Haskins wasn't there, but you were in that locker room last year. What are you seeing here?
Did you see that movie, The Natural, with Robert Redford?
Sure.
Where the Knights are losing all their games? It's losing begets losing. And he says it's a disease. More contagious than the bubonic plague, attacking one, affecting all. That's what's going on there. They're losing a lot of games. It's not a great place to be. They've put 100 guys on IR in the last 5 years. That's second in the NFL. They draft good players. They're not healthy.
Another problem,
right? That's part of it. They have great coaches. Bill Callahan's one of the best O-line coaches in the league, but he's played with so many different combinations of O-linemen because of injuries. What do you want him to do? What product are they expected to put out there? Kevin O'Connell, their young offensive coordinator, one of the best minds in football. It's just a tough place to be right now, and it might just need a reboot for all sides.
And then that leaves the rookie quarterback in the middle of it, and you know him well. Ohio State, you host the talk show there in Columbus. What do you think of what's happening with Haskins?
Well, it's terrible. And reaching out and trying to talk to some of the guys here this week and kind of see where they're at. I mean, he's going to act like a professional. He's not a guy that's loud. He has a huge mouth. He's coming in. He's putting his head down. He understands the reality of the situation. But here's the thing I'm looking at for him. You're going to play the New England Patriots this week. Did you just watch what they did to Josh Allen? Like, they're not going to put him in a situation with a limited offensive line, with limited weapons, and then so Jay Gruden throws him out there. He's like, hey, well, look, he can't play. We can't play because he doesn't have any help. The guy looked pretty good in the preseason. He has an arm. He has the right mindset. He didn't play a ton in college. I don't necessarily think that matters a lot, but you have to have help.
But with that being said, then we're just picking and choosing when we're going to play Haskins? No. I've never heard of that before.
The argument for me is not when you play him, so to speak.
There's no point in this season that he's going to be set up for success. So let's forget that.
Okay,
all right?
My point is this, though. My point is not, look, we can sit here and debate when you should play him. My point is this. Let's just go back to this. In the very beginning, if you have a coach and a front office that disagree on a player, and you force that marriage, I'm telling you, it's setting it up for failure.
So it was probably,
right
I have to cut this off here because we have so many things to do. It was probably destined to fail before it even began. We'll do more on this as we go, but I got to get to this. SportsCenter, 6 Eastern after PTI with Kevin and Keith with a look at the important long ball tonight, Twins-Yankees. Herbie's sit down with Ohio State's Justin Fields, and why Tom Brady can thank the Patriots defense for his fantastic start. All that and more, SportsCenter tonight after PTI. Meanwhile, gentlemen, let me pick every game on the Sunday schedule lickety-split right now. Ravens at Pittsburgh. Are the Steelers for real? In a word, no. Give me a Baltimore bounce back by 10. Bears, Raiders, John Gruden will finally get to meet Khalil Mack, and unfortunately, so will his quarterback. Bears big on the other side of the pond. Cards at Bengals. What a terrible game this is. Cincy won't go winless, so let's give them this one, but not watch it. Jags, Panthers. Now we're talking. Who would have thought Allen versus Minshew would be must-see TV? It sort of is. I like both teams. Carolina's home, so we'll take them by 3. Vikings, Giants, Daniel Jones. This is what an NFL defense actually looks like. I like the young quarterback, but this is a bad matchup. Minnesota by 13. Pats and Skins. This is almost unfair. Of all the teams trying to win, Washington is probably the worst, and New England probably the best. Crazier things have happened, but none that jump immediately to mind. Pats by 1,000. Jets travel to Philly to remind me how much I enjoyed their bye week. That was so relaxing. Just like this will be for the rested home team off a Thursday night win at Lambeau. Eagles by as many as they want. Bucks, Saints. Guess what? This is a big game. I'm kind of buying the Bucks. Should have beat the Giants. Rained all over the Rams. I'm sold. Trap game New Orleans. Take Tampa. 26-24. Falcons, Texans. I find both teams tough to figure. I like both quarterbacks. I'll flip a coin. It's tails for Texans by 1. Bills, Titans. So impressed with Buffalo. That's a top 3D in the sport. I'll ride it all the way to the playoffs. Bills 16-10. Broncos, Chargers. I keep picking Denver to win. They keep making me look stupid. Fool me 4 times, shame on me. I'll take Rivers, 27-14. Packers, Cowboys. Possible preview of the NFC Championship. I'm buying both. Rodgers is rested. Dallas is angry. Game of the year. I'll take the boys by 1. Finally, Colts in Kansas City. Pat Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown last week, so he's due to throw 10 under the lights. Chiefs stay perfect, 41-24. Anything we strongly disagree with in there?
No, those are some good ones right there, man.
I like the 10 touchdowns for Mahomes.
They're pretty good.
Watch Tampa. I'm telling you right now, the Buccaneers are the team no one's talking about that you will be a month from now. Meanwhile, we have a huge